So for this particular article, we're going to be working on this very, very large Silvestris. This tree was originally from mainland Spain, and right now we're in Mallorca. So it was brought over here to Bonsai Sense, which is a company here in Mallorca. And we're going to be transforming this tree into what I hope will be a nice full cascade tree. So there's a lot of interesting features here at the base. All of this deadwood here we're going to utilize and turn into nice gin and shari on the trunk. We're going to tilt the tree pretty severely to the left, and this will become our cascading branch down below. And the challenge for this tree is going to be to utilize these long branches to create a bit more of a compact design without doing the whole spaghetti thing. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so we've tilted the tree down to the left here to create our nice line for the full cascade. The movement of the trunk is more interesting on this angle, and the movement of the deadwood here, or what will eventually be the deadwood, is much more interesting as well. Now the next challenge is going to be to compact everything in. So in order to do that, we're going to get rid of this very heavy branch here and turn it into a nice gin feature, and then we're going to use the smaller branches from below and the back to pull it in here to create our first branch on the cascade. And this branch here we're going to bring around to create a nice apex. So we'll have a two-line cascade. So yeah, we're going to get on the deadwood first here, cut that off, make some deadwood, and then we'll put some raffia on and move the branches into place. Just take a chisel and hammer on a downward angle, and I did it in a way that made it look as natural as possible. So I didn't do straight lines, I did very jagged lines, and also within those lines I broke up the pieces that I'd split away from the trunk. So they're different sizes, different shapes, different lengths, and then we burned it, so it gives it more of a natural kind of look. So right now we're putting raffia on the main branches that are going to be bent very severely, just for protection. This one in particular, our main branch, is very thick, so I'm going to do raffia, and then we're going to run a couple of pieces of aluminium or aluminum wire down the length of that branch, and then wrap it again with raffia for extra protection and also for support when we bend it. So after we bend this branch into place, then we'll work our way up the tree. The apex of the tree is also going to be somewhat difficult because it's a very long branch and it goes way towards the back. So we're putting raffia on it as well, and it's going to be guy wired down so we see the movement in the branch, and then it's going to be pulled around on itself. So it'll be somewhat of a loop-to-loop at the top, but I'm going to try to make it look as natural as possible without looking too contrived. So I think we can pull that off, but we'll find out. now we're going to bend this big branch up into this area, and what I've done is put a small wire here to create a fulcrum around which we're going to bend the branch. That way the branch doesn't separate here, it bends here. So if you can pull, you ready? We're just going to do this little by little and listen for any cracks or any breaks, and hopefully we won't hear any of that as we go. But we'll take it very slowly and see how far we can move it. The nice thing about these Sylvestris is they're very flexible, so we should be able to move this quite far in one go here today.
Okay. 1, 2.
Okay, so we bent this branch part way so far. We're actually going to take it a bit further, but I want to wait about 10 or 15 minutes for the tissue to loosen up a little bit here so we don't snap the branch. So while we let that set for a second, we're going to work on wiring the remaining 2 big branches on the tree, then come back and see if we can move this a bit further. At that point, we're going to put a piece of rebar down to the bottom here and pull this lower branch back down. That way we get nice movement to the branch. Sylvia? Yeah. Let's... get it to this area, we should be able to hook it around that, no problem. Right? Yeah. But we'll have to get it pretty far for it to stay. Right? Okay. My concern is that if we go all the way here, we're going to end up tearing this away, right? Because this is where most of the pressure is. So we're going to add this fulcrum in here in a minute when we get it a little bit further so it fits snugly right there, so that the bend stops from here and starts again from here. Okay, so we've moved the apex up and around here, and now what we're going to do is take this lowest branch that's at the bottom here and actually pull it slightly higher up and in, and then we're going to take our lowest branch here, which is actually higher than this one at this point, and switch these 2 around. Because to me this is the nicer line out of the tree, and I want our full cascading branch more towards the front, whereas this one's towards the back. So again, we're going to pull this up, tighten this up, and then pull this back down here, and hopefully be able to compact the whole tree into this general area. All right, so we have a bit of a problem branch right here. We put the metal bar down below so that we could drop that branch down, but the issue is it's still sticking out way beyond our main lowest branch here. And it's not totally necessary that this is shorter than our lowest branch, but at this point it's way too long. So I want to try to compact that in as much as possible, and I also want to try to utilize part of this branch to hide this area, or at least break it up visually. right, so we're at the apex of the tree now, and what I want to do is pull this branch that we've managed to bring back around on itself down a little further so that we can put this foliage in this area to connect the apex with the base of the tree here. Now, the apex will be built with a combination of this branch and this branch here as well. Over time, we're going to hope to get some back budding on this and push the growth back a little bit, but for now we can only use this because it's all we have available. So we're going to use this to build a nice apex at the top here.